Shalom. First off, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rachakwadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, as well as double honor to their elders. Peace and blessings to 144,000. Pushing his word with all truth and sincerity, as well as peace and blessings to all the believers of Yahweh Shai. And let me begin by breaking down those names, who the world ignorantly calls God, which is just a title. His name is Yahweh, Yah meaning he, Hawa meaning is or exist. He is, he exists, and who the world only calls Jesus Christ, his name is Yahweh Shai. Yah meaning he, Yahweh Shai meaning saves or delivers. And he's come back to save his people from their sins. And who are the people of who the world only calls God and Jesus Christ? It be you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. We make up the 12 tribes of Israel. Yahweh, why Yahweh Shai, they are our powers. They're for us. But I just want to do a quick hit going to this article I got here from PBS News. It's from January 6, 2026. It says European leaders push back on Trump's comments about U.S. taking over Greenland. And we know, as the prophecy says, and that's the one precept I got here, the 10 horns are going to shoot fire up on America, the whore. But let's read into this article and then we'll get that precept there. Lord willing, edifying to the point. Just a quick hit. It says several European leaders pushed back Tuesday on President Trump's comment seeking an American takeover of Greenland. The leaders issued a statement reaffirming the strategic mineral-rich Arctic island belongs to its people. Those that mineral-rich Arctic island belongs to Esau. Let him tell you. His damn devil, as his blessing that was given to him. He's gonna take. Let's read that right quick. He's gonna take over. Through his sword. That's how he was going to receive all these different things. Genesis 27 and where we start at? Genesis 27 and 39. This is the blessing that Isaac gave to Esau. Genesis 27 verse 39 it says, and Isaac his father answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of the heaven from above, and by thy sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass when thou shalt have the dominion, and thou shalt have in that Salakia. Let's read that from the top again, verse 40. Genesis 27 and 40. And by thy sword shalt thou live. And this is exactly what we see this damn white man, Esau Edom, doing, so-called white, doing throughout the four corners of the earth, using that sword, using his military might to get what he want, the resources. And by thy sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck, and that yoke has already been broken off their neck. They have the dominion. But just in the point, they're getting the fatness of the earth and the dew of heaven by the sword. You see, and we go into that word fatness there. I believe it goes into. Let's click on it. H4924, Mashaman. Under outline of biblical usage, it says fatness, fat piece, fertile place, richly prepared food, fat, fatness, fat pieces. It says oil, olive oil, fatness, stout, vigorous, fertile spots or places. So they have the fatness of the earth, the fertile, places, those land rich, in Venezuela as they just took over, captured the president and whatnot. Now they're saying they're gonna sell the oil, they got that oil through the sword. So let's read a little bit more on this article and then we get the precept and close it out. It says the leaders of France, Germany, Italy, Poland, Spain, and the United Kingdom, and these are the 10 horns, These are some of the 10 horns as it's mentioned. Let's see if I can get a visual of the original 10 horns, GMS. Let's see. Uh, well, what's the? It's not. It's definitely not pulling up what I want. It's like what's the? There it is. Oh, it's like there it is right here. No, I don't think they'll give me a good. It's blurry, but they got the original 10 horns on the side of this picture right here. Let me see if they got the picture somewhere over here. I guess not. Let me see if I can, just off the dome, or see if I can read it. France, Belgium, Denmark, Luxembourg, Spain, Italy, just to name a few. But so like, I wish I could get a better visual of that. But as going back to this article, these are some of the 10 horns here. It says the leaders of France, Germany, Italy, Poland, Spain, and the United Kingdom joined Danish Prime Minister met. Fr- I'm not going to. This guy. It says in defending Greenland's sovereignty in the wake of Trump's comments about Greenland, which is a self-governing territory of the Kingdom of Denmark and thus part of the NATO military alliance. And as we can see, this cruel lord here, as it's spoken of in Isaiah the 19th chapter, or fierce king. Let's fact check that real quick. Isaiah 19. Oh yeah, the cruel lord. I believe that's how it said. Should give them over into a hand of, yep, right here. Isaiah 19:4. And the Egyptians will I give over into the hand of a cruel lord, and their fierce king shall rule over them, said the Lord, Yahweh by Shemiah Shai of host. So we can see that Trump don't give a damn about a nation that's so-called sovereign. What's that to him? He doesn't care. Our self-governing territory, the hammer of the earth, man. It says Greenland belongs to its people. The statement said it is for Denmark and Greenland and them only to decide on matters concerning Denmark and Greenland. So we can see the 10 horns are at odds with America, and they've been at odds for some time now. You had the situation years back with the pipelines, Nord Stream pipelines. America destroying those. Well, let's end it off here. Revelation 17 and verse 16. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and the whore is America, Babylon the Great. These shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. And all this is saying just symbolic talk. He's going to shoot missiles upon this place. ICBM, intercontinental ballistic missiles. Nuclear. This place is going to be destroyed by 200 million nuclear warheads. It says, "For the Most High have put in their hearts to fulfill His will." So the Heavenly Father gonna put it up on their mind, to accomplish this, to turn their backs on America, you know, and shoot fire up on it. It says, "For the Most High put in their hearts to fulfill His will, and to agree, and to give their kingdom unto the beast, unto the words of the Most High shall be fulfilled." And that's exactly what these EU nations have done. They've given their kingdom over to America, just for a time, but now we can see the Heavenly Father bringing out these differences. We can see that them not agreeing anymore. And at the end of the day, verse 16, read that again, end it out. Revelation 17 and 16. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. So at the end of the day, America is going to be destroyed. We're coming to the end of the movie, man. We're waiting for the last few prophecies to be fulfilled. But all in all, Babylon the Great, America, fire is about to rain down upon this place. So I'll leave it right there. Lord willing is edifying to the point, giving all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rachakwadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of great millstone who rule well. Peace and blessings to 144,000, pushing this world without truth and sincerity. Shalom.